It feels like the world is holding its breath and things are escalating at a terrifying speed. If you haven't been keeping an eye on the news, let me walk you through the critical events of the last 24 hours. Because what's happening is truly shaping our future. Let's start in Gaza. Less than a day after a ceasefire agreement was signed, the fragile peace was shattered. This morning, Israeli forces opened fire on civilians in Khan Yunis. These were people simply trying to check on their destroyed homes. According to reports, this tragic incident resulted in at least 5, possibly even 7, lives lost. The official Israeli military statement claimed these individuals had entered a restricted area, but eyewitness accounts and the reality on the ground tell a different story. It seems to be a case of acting first and finding a justification later. And the situation didn't stop there. According to the agreement, Hamas was scheduled to hand over the remains of Israeli prisoners. However, they faced immense difficulties. The sheer scale of destruction from the bombing has made accessing the bodies an incredibly challenging task, causing a slight delay. The agreement itself didn't even specify a rigid timeline for this. So, how did the Israeli government respond to this understandable delay? They announced the complete closure of the Rafah crossing, and let's be clear, it was Israel that closed it, not Egypt, despite claims to the contrary. They also slashed humanitarian aid trucks entering Gaza from 600 down to just 300, under the pretext that Hamas was stalling. This, despite the fact that the very destruction they caused is what's making the process so difficult. It's a manufactured crisis. Why would they do this? Well, here's a crucial piece of context. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has a court hearing for corruption charges scheduled for tomorrow. It's not hard to see a pattern here. By creating a new crisis, he can divert public attention and claim he's too busy managing a conflict to attend his trial. It's a political maneuver that jeopardizes the ceasefire and the lives of countless people, all to potentially save his own political career. Meanwhile, Egypt stepped in, as they often do, trying to salvage the agreement. An Egyptian committee entered Gaza to assist in locating the remains. Thankfully, as of a short while ago, Al Jazeera reported that the bodies were found and handed over to the Red Cross. But what about the crossing and the aid? As of right now, there's no word. Everything remains at a standstill. Now, let's shift our focus across the world to Europe, where a storm is brewing that many have overlooked. The head of German intelligence just delivered a shocking report to their parliament. He warned that Russia is expanding its military operations in an unprecedented way and could attack a NATO country at any moment. He didn't mince words, stating that Europe is now effectively under fire. This isn't just rhetoric. In recent days, we've seen Russian drones and fighter jets systematically testing the borders and violating the airspace of Poland, Denmark, Norway, and even Germany itself. A few days ago, Russian jets spent a full 12 minutes inside Estonian airspace. These provocations have forced major European airports in Copenhagen, Munich, and Oslo to temporarily shut down while NATO jets scrambled to intercept the intruders. In response, Europe is preparing for the worst. The UK is building a drone wall along NATO's borders. Germany has ramped up its defense budget to levels unseen since World War II, recently approving €7.5 billion in new arms deals. NATO has launched a massive operation called Eastern Sentry to bolster air defenses along its eastern flank. And to top it all off, the US is considering sending advanced Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, a move Russia has warned would be a severe escalation. When you connect the dots, you see a world teetering on the edge. In the Middle East, a fragile peace is being undermined for political gain. In Europe, the continent is bracing for a potential conflict with a nuclear power. All of this is happening against the backdrop of a larger global power struggle between the US and China. What will the next few days bring? It's impossible to say for sure, but the developments are happening faster than ever. We'll continue to follow every detail right here. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel to stay informed. Your support helps us continue to bring you these important updates. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.